This overreaction corner reminder that you can check out and put your own opinion, put your own overreaction in every single post game. Just check out our Twitter. We tweet the link out at least once post game. So check that out and you can drop it in anonymously. You can put your name on it, do whatever you want to do. But this week's overreaction corner starts off. JMU's 4-0 record is absurdly close to being 1-3, 10-point total margin of victory over the last 3 weeks. I love these close matchups, but can't help but think that JMU is due for some painful losses later in the schedule. Ethan Gardner, gotta say, I didn't realize Bennett would say like the exact same thing.
I think this is well said. On the flip side, you can have seasons, right, where you just go like 5-0 in one possession games. I just don't think they're going to go like 11-0 in one possession game. So at a certain point, like if you're better than the team, and I thought they were legitimately better than Utah State across like most position groups, you kind of would love to have those be double-digit wins that don't come down to like needing 2 interceptions in the final 5 minutes to clinch them. So if they start to play a little better, I still think they can have a year that doesn't have huge painful losses. But yeah, if they trend in this direction, they're going to take some close L's.
Worth mentioning that JMU did dominate that game in every statistical category except for the final score. Next one, our run defense numbers are inflated because of how bad the secondary is. I don't hate this take for the main reason that JMU's defense has some of the least number of runs called against it, but some of the most passes. So I believe there's only 25 rushes a game per called, which is top 15 in the country. And they're like one of the most passed on groups in the country.
Yeah, the run defense is very good, but it helps, right? If your secondary is clearly a worse unit, the other team's just going to go, okay, we're just going to throw the ball. So then if a team throws the ball like 10 out of 12 plays, it's easy to be like, the run defense. Reminds me a little bit about the Georgia Southern game last year. I think someone asked Isaac Ukwu after, and they're like, you guys, put in another great run defense performance. He's like, what? We gave up 600 yards passing, though.
So JMU, 25 runs are called against it in a game, 38 passes.
Do you think it's going to get? I guess it probably will, right? I'll answer my own question. But South Alabama and Georgia Southern, there's got to be a crazy pass split the next 2 games, right?
I'll be shocked if South Alabama doesn't try to establish the run.
Okay. What about Georgia Southern? Do you think they go?
I will be shocked if we see Clay Helton call a run.
That'd be so sweet if Clay Helton was like, I'm just not running.
Next one. There are tons of fans that would gladly take their team at 4-0 right now. This 3-game stretch was as brutal as JMU has had, and they didn't lose. I think leadership deserves a lot of praise for that. Drake.
Yeah.
Guys, I think Flow Sports may be better than the Mountain West Network. Jordan Simmel. Yep.
That was bad.
That was terrible. Colorado versus JMU would be the most exciting WWE style bowl game. Not wrong. You could imagine the championship belt. Kurt Signetti would have cell phones out there. Deion Primetime Sanders would be at the podium saying some wild stuff about how JMU's disrespected them in the Bahamas Bowl and how Deion Sanders remembers playing against Coach Kurt Signetti because somehow Kurt Signetti's probably been connected to Primetime. I think that would be electric.
That's a fun take. It would be a fun game, especially given the fact that Colorado can throw it a little bit. But they can't like protect the quarterback. So like JMU's defensive line would get there in 2 seconds, but then also like guys would be open.
That'd be amazing. And then for every sack, Pat Kuntz would be doing the championship belt on the sideline, hanging up the phone. We might have the worst secondary in the country, and some of those dudes are close friends. Georgia Southern might throw for 600 yards. Football alum.
I don't think it's the worst. I still don't. I'm not entirely sold that they're horrible.
Whoa.
I know that they're not playing well. I don't think they're the worst in the country. I also think
they're one of the worst.
They've made multiple positional changes here. And we'll get into the 2 deep at some point, but like it looks like it's going to be Pons and Logan and then Meehan and Thomas, maybe with Q Reed mixing in there. I do think they're making some changes. DJ Barksdale played a decent amount against Utah State. I don't know. Like, I think Georgia Southern's going to throw for a lot of yards, but I also think they're going to find a way to make some improvements here where it doesn't look quite as bad. And I will say, they had a couple really nice plays. The Pons interception, Fisher had an interception, and then was it Reminique? Is that how it's pronounced? I think
Yeah.
he had a great interception that he immediately fumbled, but like it was a great play to intercept a screen pass. So I'm interested with some of the personnel switches, like if D'Angelo Pons gets some reps underneath him, if they can look a little bit better in November.
I'm also really interested to see if there's like a scheme change where it seems like
Mm-hmm.
this secondary is very big play centric. So do you kind of sell out and put these guys in man to man? Do you maybe play for those interceptions and try to get those big plays and those turnovers instead of just kind of sitting back and letting guys dink and dunk down the field on you?
Yeah.
This team could easily be 1-3. Not impressed. D-line coach last week, cell phone this week. Signetti trying to compete with Coach Prime for clicks. Mr. Gritty.
This is obviously, I don't think they're trying to do this for clicks. I actually think it's very beneficial for the program that they're like staying in the news cycle, even with like dumb
Yeah,
things like that.
I agree. I mean, JMU, I think Shane Metlin tweeted out that there's been 6 or 7 million impressions from the discount double check thing and then the phone thing this week, which is insane. Free impressions, hyping up your program in an age of social media. Fantastic. Unloading the clip here. Do you remember last week we had the I miss Everett Withers? This is from, for the record, I do not miss the Withers era. Unloading the clip here. Worst team since Mickey's last season. Worst secondary since Withers last year. Least mobile QB since Matt Lazat, but somehow 4-0 coming off 3 straight away dubs. I got to defend my guy Jordan McLeod here. He is not mobile. I
More
think he
mobile
just
than Cole Johnson.
more mobile than Cole Johnson, has some speed, has some shiftiness. They started calling some RPOs for him, and he was getting into the end zone. 6 total touchdowns. 2 of them came by way of running the ball. They just haven't leaned on him to run it yet. And I think when he does start to decide to tuck it and run more, he may be putting up some really gaudy rushing numbers.
Also, we kind of got, I feel like JMU fans, myself included, sometimes need to adjust to the fact that like the team's not playing FCS teams anymore. So it's like, oh my gosh, why are they giving up these plays? Because they're not playing Towson. Like Utah State, I think they were in a bowl game last year. I think they lost it. But like Hillstead's probably going to be pretty good. Anthony Calandria made some sweet plays against NC State and Maryland for UVA. Like they have played some talented players. And Gunnar Watson, who's probably the worst of those 3 quarterbacks, had the worst game of those 3 against JMU.
Yeah, I mean, JMU is going up against Tom Flacco, the other Flacco, as the best quarterback they ever faced. Davis Cheek was sometimes the best quarterback they faced, and he was coached by Kurt Signetti. He wasn't as good when Signetti left. Like, your best quarterbacks were missing wide open receivers, and there were plenty of them that they missed.
Yeah.
JMU will go 500 in conference play due to its appalling secondary and bewildering second half play calling. I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they go 500 in conference play, but I think that might just be because the Sun Belt East is damn good.
It's such a good, the Sun Belt, I think, is pulling away as the best G5 conference. If you look at something like the advanced metrics, the Sun Belt East is sort of carrying that. I feel like no offense to the West, but the West isn't doing it for me.
The West outside of South Alabama and Troy is bad.
The other part about the West that I think is interesting long term, and I hadn't pieced this together until watching South Alabama play Central Michigan. Most of those teams, with maybe the exception of like Southern Miss, they're like, and Southern Miss is still in SEC country. They're in SEC country and like clearly not the like place to be on a Saturday in the fall. Like South Alabama's crowd against Central Michigan was very sad, whereas like Marshall's still kind of a hot ticket. Like West Virginia's not actually that good. Like JMU, like you're gonna rather go to a UVA game or Virginia Tech, like not right now. So I just feel like some of these other ones, App State, maybe UNC is exciting, but I don't think you have a lot of people who are clamoring to become like bandwagon NC State fans. That would just be like sad and heartbreaking. So I feel like you have a lot of the East teams that have loyal fan bases. You're the team that can still get some bandwagon fans, whereas that's so different if you play in, I don't know, Alabama.
Yeah, I agree. Our offensive coordinator needs to figure it out and stop taking the foot off the gas. Our secondary is so bad, it's not even funny, but I think our offense has so much potential if we just stop playing conservative. All gas, no brakes, go Dukes, Connor. I'll let you take the first go at this because I have a take that I don't know if you'll fully agree with.
My take is that they should go like insane on offense, where it's like we're going to throw the ball a ton and we are going like if it's 4th and 5 or shorter in the opposing territory, we're going. Like if they did that, I would love to see how it played out over a game because I think it would be decent. They just, yeah, they do seem too conservative sometimes.
Okay. I don't think they are conservative.
Okay, this is a good take.
I think their play calling isn't working. And that's a bigger issue. I don't think it's conservativeness. They started the third quarter up big with pass, pass, pass. Incomplete, incomplete, incomplete. Something isn't meshing there. There might not be full trust in McLeod. There might be other factors. And I don't think it's conservativeness. I think it's play calling isn't clicking. And to me, that's more worrisome. They are fully reliant on explosive plays. The only play they had over 20 yards in the second half was the Reggie Brown 74-yard touchdown, which was a quick slant that he just happened to take to the house because of bad tackling. It seems like the passing game isn't getting open receivers at a consistent enough clip. It's forcing McLeod to do things that the coaching staff may not like. It's giving him less than stellar opportunities, and pair that in with their willingness, or I guess stubbornness, to run the ball consistently on first down and second down, or at least first down, where they have a sub 50% first down success rate. It's setting up the offense in situations to fail. I don't think it's playing conservatively. I think something's not clicking. And I'm very interested to see how they adjust going into South Alabama because playing at home is much different than playing on the road. And I think we'll see some of these issues kind of fixed.
I also think, I guess, in their defense, McLeod has missed some layups. Like a guy will just be open for like an 8-yard gain and he like bounces it to him. Stuff that like Centeo wasn't really missing, Cole Johnson wasn't really missing. Didn't like, you know what I mean? Like some of the last
Yes.
quarterbacks were hitting a lot of those.
Also worth mentioning that McLeod is returning from like a broken knee and ankle, hasn't played in 2 years and didn't get first team reps all fall camp.
Possibly some lingering rust.
Yes. Who do I contact at JMU about paying my medical bills after the heart attack this team causes? Glad to leave with a win. Go Dukes, Chelsea. I thought that was a nice one to finish this out on.
That is really nice. What I've decided to do and sort of just come to grips with is once they start losing a lead or playing poorly, I just tell myself that they have lost.
Yeah, I
The
get
game
those
is
texts.
lost. It's over. And then I just tell myself it's over. And then in the end, when they win, it's like a huge emotional lift that I
How
don't
about this?
expect.
How about we stop texting me that because it brings me so much anger.
You always get sad. I'll be like, this third quarter. I'm like, well, that was nice. Fun game.
Well, you're a Lions fan. You've experienced a lot of loss in your life. I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm used to winning.
You're not used to, no, you are. You are very accustomed to pass run conversations. It's just usually the other way, right? Too much pass.
No. Seahawks?
Well, if they're at the goal line, so to speak.
All right. You shoehorned that in so hard.